Krypton's core is collapsing.
We must evacuate this planet immediately.
I will ensure the survival of our race.
Farewell, my son.
You will travel far.
My hopes and dreams travel with you.
I feel my wings have broken in your hand.
Why am I so different from them? The truth. This is how you came into our world, son. It's the day of the meteor shower.
What are you trying to tell me, Dad? That I'm from another planet?
Can I just keep pretending I'm your son?
You are my son.
So what are you? Man or Superman?
I haven't figured it out yet. Dad?
All those things I can do. All those powers. And I couldn't even save him.
You can't stay here, son. You've got to keep your mother safe. You've got to keep the whole world safe.
You are here for a reason.
Even if it takes you the rest of your life, you owe it to yourself to find out what that reason is.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. I have sent them you, my only son.
Look at history. The great men and women of the world have always been defined by their enemies.
You diseased maniac.
I am the villain of the story.
I'll always be there to stop you.
Hello, I am the world's biggest geek. I am Joel with the Geek Informant. And even though we probably are going to get demonetized for that 4-minute video,
yeah, like goddamn.
I waited.
I mean, we're not monetized anyway, so it's fine.
But the reason I played that video is because that is what I am feeling today.
Yeah,
we're talking about the trailer for the upcoming Superman movie and our thoughts about it. And all I gotta say is the world does indeed need Superman after all. Because, oh my lord, that trailer, I know it was only a teaser. I know we only saw bits and pieces, but that trailer might have been the best trailer that I have seen all year, at least when it comes to an upcoming movie, because that trailer was very, very good. It gave us just a little bit without showing us everything. And it gave us the right. It hit me. It hit me right here. It hits you right here. It hits you right here in the feeling. Because all year I have had to hear people complain. No offense, Mark. Not you. You are right. You are entitled to your opinion.
Nah, fuck it. Include Mark. Fuck his bullshit. Fuck that shit.
No. Excluding Mark, because Mark actually has a reason. He has valid reasons. But I had to have been on Twitter all the time, hearing people complain.
Yeah, Twitter's a cesspool.
And complain about Zack Snyder's Superman. Henry Cavill is the best Superman. Oh, David Cornsweet isn't going to live up to expectations. Oh, James Gunn's going to ruin Superman.
I mean, they're still going to say that. They're still going to say that because they refuse to accept anything else. But that's...
like yesterday, I had to go. All I saw on Twitter were people complaining about the fact that of how Superman's hair was blowing through the wind as he was flying in the teaser for the teaser. Are you kidding me? We are really complaining about the loss of physics because you don't want Henry Cavill because you're sad that Henry Cavill's not Superman anymore. Are we being for real right now? Are we being serious? We have stooped so low as a society and as far as intelligence that we are complaining about the movie's physics.
Yeah, and well, I remember seeing something. Maybe I'll send it to you privately, but somebody was like the teaser where they see Superman flying and it's like from his back and like you see the cape. They're like, Zack Snyder would never do a shot like that. Meanwhile, somebody reposted it and showed the shot of Henry Cavill flying for the first time and being like, caught in 4K, my guy.
I seriously, like, people are finding the worst things to complain about for this movie, and just call it how it is. Just say that you don't want to see it because you are still. But even then, you guys got to move on. You guys have to move on. Listen, I love Henry Cavill too. Okay, Henry Cavill was a great, in my opinion. Okay, we're gonna get into a lot of stuff this stream because I actually have a lot of things I have to say about Henry Cavill's Superman, because yesterday I took the time to watch for the first time, or not the first time, but the first time as a grown adult, because the last time I saw it I was like 5. Yesterday, for the first time in like 21, so 16 years, I sat down and watched Superman 77, and by God, 78, sorry. I get mixed up between that and Star Wars. I now understand why people love Christopher Reeve as Superman, because he honestly he fit that role like a glove. That role was made for him. Like, Christopher Reeve was the blueprint for how Superman was supposed to be. And I guess we're talking about it. I guess we can talk about it now. Like, yeah, as far as Superman, I mean, John, when you first got introduced to Superman, what was your first like introduction to Superman?
Yeah, it was the Christopher Reeve movies. That was because I never watched the animated shows or anything like that as a kid. Like, my parents, like my mom didn't. They thought like superhero stuff was too violent or something, but she still let me watch Superman, like Superman the movie. So I don't know. It was fucking weird. So she let me watch that, and then later on I watched like the Batman stuff. But I mean, in general, superhero stuff I was introduced because of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. But in terms of Superman specifically was Christopher Reeve, and then I eventually saw Superman Returns in the theater and all that. But yeah, that was my introduction to the character. Never read any comics until much later, but yeah.
My earliest memory that I've had of Superman, I think, was Superman Returns. I remember because I had the DVD, and I would watch the crap out of that at my grandma's house, even though I did not understand what the heck was going on. But I do remember one scene. It was the plane, the iconic plane scene where he saves Lois from in the plane that was on fire. I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever saw. And I remember having a Superman toy. I think it was a big Superman. It was like one of those like large Superman toys. I think it was from the Justice League animated series, or maybe the Superman animated series. But I remember having a Superman toy. But growing up, I wasn't really the biggest Superman fan. I mean, I liked Superman. I thought Superman was cool, but I didn't really, I didn't grow up with him. I grew up with people. I grew up with Spider-Man, Batman, The Flash, just like those were my Wolverine, Hulk, like those were my superheroes until 2013, where I saw Man of Steel, and that was kind of like my first like real like experience, like learning about Superman and everything. I thought the Superman was cool, and I fell into the the crowd where I'm like, oh, Superman's a god, like he's literally just a god. That's it. That's all. Yada yada yada. And so over the years, I really have I've started to really understand why people love Superman, because Superman is definitely like a character that inspires hope and good. It makes you feel good. Like Superman is that thing that just makes you feel good. And I didn't understand that until I saw Superman and Lois. Because Superman and Lois, I've said this. I mean, you and I have talked about this a billion times. Before Superman and Lois came out, I'm thinking, really, we're getting a show about Superman and Lois? Like that's stupid. But then it's the first 30 seconds of the first episode where Superman saves that little boy from that car, and the boy was like, nice costume, and he says, thanks, my mom made it for me, with a big smile on his face. I'm like, yeah, that right there is Superman. That is Superman. But this is a backstory. Anyways, what are your thoughts on the trailer?
That was fantastic. So I watched it. I watched the trailer like on my phone because I was literally doing another trailer breakdown earlier today, like right when the trailer like came out. So I was doing that, and then like, okay, let's do this at noon. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I watched it on my phone. I was like, okay, great, this is a great trailer. And then I watched it on my computer, and I like heard more stuff because I had my headphones in. So I heard more stuff. I really thought it was something special. It felt like I like the look. I like the character, how the characters look and everything. Superman doing the I'm probably gonna butcher the name, but Yamcha, Dragon Ball. Everyone keeps making that comparison to him in the snow, and I thought that was pretty great. We get so much. We get Lois. So it's clear that we're getting like. I mean, James Gunn said it's gonna be in the middle of the action, so it's gonna be in the middle of everything. So it's like Superman and Lois, Clark and Lois know everything, and they're together, so that's good. Thank God. Like, as much as I love the original Superman films, or at least the first two, the fucking will they won't they with Clark and Lois got really tiresome after a while. And I just like how they're together, they're a unit, they're awesome. The suit looks great. Like, I don't love the suit because it's very New 52, and I don't like the New 50. I don't like the lines and all that, but I like the Kingdom Come logo. I like how he's wearing the trunks. I like the colorful suit. So I like all that. I love Rachel Brosnahan, looks great as Lois. We got a couple, we got a little bit of Steve Lombard in there. We got to look at the Daily Planet. I like the Art Deco kind of vibe to it. I like how it doesn't look or feel like just diet New York, which is like what I was going for. I wish they really leaned into the more timeless feel of it, but I like how it doesn't just look and feel like, oh, it's New York. Okay. Like, it's like how like the Dark Knight trilogy, it's Chicago, but it's Gotham, but not really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I like those movies. Those are great movies, but like like the whole like, oh, it's got to be realistic. Oh, fucking, you know, it's got to be realistic. Got to be realistic. Yeah, okay, let's just have Chicago as Gotham. Cool.
Just a
I
side
guess.
note, like one thing that I'll give like Superman Returns credit. They made Metropolis feel like its own like city.
Yeah, that's like, I say what you will about Superman Returns. It's not a great movie, but one of the things they definitely got right, that Superman Returns gave us the best looking Metropolis, period. Like, it's up there with like Tim Burton's Batman's Gotham, because as much as I don't like any of these movies that much, Tim Burton's Gotham is the best that Gotham has ever looked, and Superman Returns' Metropolis has been the best that Metropolis has ever looked, like without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
Nicholas Hoult looks great as Hitman. I mean Lex Luthor. I've seen so many memes. You know, our boy Johnny Sins. I mean, what? But yeah, he looks great. The action looks really cool. It like, even though it looks like some of the VFX aren't totally finished yet. Like the kaiju looks really fucking good. Like that looks really cool. I like how we're, you know, it like you have like the people hating them, because it seems like I heard a rumor like it was because he couldn't save the little girl that was in the trailer. And so the people hate him now or something, but I think it's because of those 3 buildings that fell over later on in the trailer. And I think because those huge buildings were, you know, towering down, that the people hate him now. And I like how like right after that, how the people hating him, they cut to a shot of like the Kent farm, and then it feels like, oh, the world hates him now. The world doesn't like him, and so he's like, Dad, I need advice. I need your help. I like that. I like how with like Pa Kent, they're going with like the post-crisis versions of the characters where Pa Kent is alive. And I like how the vibe I'm getting from the trailer is like, this is when Superman is going to learn that he can't save everyone, because the whole basis of like Pa Kent's death in the comics and in many adaptations, that's when he learns he can't save everybody, because sometimes it just happens, like that's life.
Yeah, like it's inevitable.
But the fact that they're going with the post-crisis version, and the fact that both Kents are going to be alive, it feels like he hasn't really learned that lesson like totally just yet. And so I feel like the events of this movie are going to give us that. We're going to be getting a Superman that finally learns that you can't save everyone. But it's just like the people around him aren't like, because he has saved everybody. So there's like all that. And I like the little kid like holding like the flag, like very reminiscent of soldiers at Iwo Jima, I think it was, the famous, you know, soldiers putting the flag in the, you know, in the ground, getting that vibes. I really like that. I like the chanting. I also love how you don't get the title of the movie.
Like, you know what you're watching.
It's like, motherfuckers, you fucking know what you're watching. Like, it reminds me of the posters for Deathly Hallows Part 2, where you just see Harry and it just says "It ends." It's like, you fucking know.
Like, come on, bro. Like you know what you're about to see.
And I mean, plus you have like the chanting in the background. Yeah. You know, I like the supporting characters. Mr. Terrific looks great. Guy Gardner looks fucking awesome. Hawk Girl looks great. And then Metamorpho, like seeing him, it's definitely a very cool design with how they're doing Metamorpho. So that all looks really good. I'm kind of going on and on. Why don't you start talking now?
I'll give my thoughts after, because Devin actually sent me like a voice memo, so I'm gonna play it. It's actually like 3 minutes and 30 seconds long.
Okay,
so that definitely
have at it.
All right, let me try to.
All right, so unfortunately I couldn't make the stream because I'm at work, but
By the way, can you hear this?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, so keep going.
I'd say I was going to record my thoughts on the trailer. I watched it a couple more times on my lunch break at work, and so far, this is absolutely my most anticipated movie of the year. I thought the Superman trailer looked fantastic. I loved the look. like they're going with a classic Metropolis look while also making it look modern. I think David Cornsweet looks fantastic as Superman. I also like how like his Clark Kent persona also looks different. That way you can't tell, oh yeah, that's just Superman with glasses. I really like that. I think the action scenes look cool. I love that Krypto's in this movie. I love the music, the guitar. It just sounds so epic. You know, I love the montage of Superman, you know, saving people. There's a lot to take in. I'm definitely gonna watch it a couple more times. I thought the look of the other heroes were really cool. I don't mind the goofier look for Guy Gardner. I like how they're kind of sticking with that, with his look from the comics. I guess if there's any like nitpicks I have with the trailer, I mean, keep in mind, again, these are nitpicks. I am genuinely excited for this movie, and I cannot fucking wait for July. I guess for some like nitpicks I have with it, I really hope the other heroes serve a purpose in the story, and they're not just, oh look, here's this character, and just and just leave it alone. I think you know, because that was one of my biggest problems with Batman vs Superman. There was just too many characters. There's too much going on. Hopefully, this isn't the case. And the other thing, you guys know where I'm going to go at. I do not like how Lex Luthor is the villain again. And you guys know I'm sick of seeing Luthor all the time as the villain in Superman movies. It's 2025. We need a new villain. You know, when you have villains like Brainiac or Bizarro or Parasite just begging to be used, and we just get this fucking guy again and again and again. Not saying I'm not excited to see what Nicholas Hoult is going to do. I think Nicholas Hoult is going to be a great Luthor. You know, after seeing The Order, you know, that gives me more than enough faith that he's going to be a great villain. It's just, you know, we see Luthor too much. It's just, I'm tired of him. But yeah, I have faith in James Gunn. I think he's going to do something special with this character. You know, and this is coming from someone that defends Man of Steel. You know, I still like Man of Steel, but I'm definitely ready for something different. And to any of the butthurt, you know, Snyder fans saying, oh, he's moping in here too, and people have a problem moping in Man of Steel, just shut the fuck up. Fuck you. So yeah, James Gunn Superman looks great. Cannot wait to see it. Let's fucking go.
Couldn't have said it any better myself there, buddy. Yeah. So I guess all that leaves is my opinion on the trailer. So then I have a lot to say. Starters. Opening scene, perfect. It's fantastic. I actually love that we see Superman like beaten on the ground and like actually like, because one thing that I will say about like Superman that makes him more vulnerable, like the one thing that makes Superman more vulnerable is when he's like, even though he is definitely like invincible, I love seeing him when he's not invincible. It makes him more human than because people, you know, after Man of Steel, people just saw him as like, oh, he's a god. Like he doesn't feel pain. Like he's just like he's a god. Nope, even though he has godlike powers, he is a human, just like he was raised as a human.
Yeah, he sees himself as human. That's the whole thing.
As human. So seeing him already on the ground, like, you know, in pain, like, you know,
great way to open the trailer.
Trying to breathe, like that is a great way to open the trailer. And him calling Krypto. Listen, people were really complaining how Krypto looked. Are you kidding me? I don't care. I'm just glad that we got to see Krypto. I grew up watching Krypto the Super Dog on Boomerang. Okay, that dog looks cute, and that dog looks cute too. That dog looks cute too.
I like how, like, at first I was like, oh, I prefer like the all white kind of like lab look or like husky look, but I like how they kind of go with like more of a grungy little guy because it like he's more unassuming. Oh, this tiny little dog can't do anything, but no, he has the same powers as Superman and he can fuck shit up. He can take Superman home. I love
Yeah,
that.
like
And that's the only dialogue we got in the trailer. So
him saying
outside
crypto,
of the chanting.
Yeah, him saying crypto, take me home. I'm like, oh, like, yeah. And then, seeing, I will say the guitar riff of John Williams' theme, like, that's so James Gunn. That is such a James Gunn move. Because it's like, come on, man, you know what you're about to see here. It's Superman.
Yeah, and despite being up for sorry to cut you off, but despite being only up for 3 hours, the original link for the trailer, it's at 4.2 million views right now.
Yeah, and I will say, I know, like it was like controversial about like Superman, like Clark's appearance, because like he looks Gen Z with the hair. Would you rather him just have his hair the same way that Superman has it, with him just wearing glasses? I'm sorry, but I will criticize Henry Cavill's appearance as Clark Kent. I will criticize Tyler Hoechlin's appearance of Clark Kent. I will criticize heck, even you know what? Christopher Reeve actually, even though he looks like Superman, his mannerisms and his posture and everything made it seem, he can't be Superman. Look at him.
Like, he literally hunches himself over. He, raises the pitch of his voice. He like parts the hair differently. I mean, I still stand by that. I don't care what anybody says of like, glasses can't fucking hide your identity. It's like, okay, so first off, you're putting it into the minds of everyone. It's like this guy, that Superman is this godlike character and can do like all these amazing feats. First off, people don't think that he has an alternate identity. First off. Second off, you're not looking at every Joe Schmo fuckwad in a huge city like Metropolis to see if this guy, look, that guy kind of looks like Superman. Like, nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that, especially in a bustling city like that. Like New York, nobody gives a fuck about anybody but yourself. You're like, I'm just trying to get to my job. I'm just trying to get to this thing. I'm not fucking dealing, like, people are busy. They need to get places.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if you're like right up close and personal, there's the idea of, I mean, hair and glasses do a lot. Like, I remember, there was the thing back when, Superman the movie was filming, and Roger Moore, who was filming a Bond movie at the time, I think it might have been For Your Eyes Only. I don't remember the specific one, but he was filming a Bond movie at the time because they were both sharing a studio, the same studio lot. And so, Christopher Reeve would come in his Superman outfit. People would, run towards him, asking for an autograph. Oh, look at Superman. And then Christopher Reeve on another day would come in wearing his Clark Kent outfit. Nobody fucking went up to him at all.
Who's this guy?
Nobody wanted to. And then you also had Henry Cavill, like, in Times Square. Again, it adds to the New York bustling thing of nobody giving a shit. But even then, Times Square, he was under the poster for BVS of his own face. He wore a Superman shirt. Nobody fucking stopped him and been like, oh, that's good. Nobody cared. Like, nobody's gonna stop you. Or diverting a little bit to, Marvel, where like Tom Holland offered like Marvel, like, hey, what if I actually went undercover as a student? And then he was like doing this, doing all this. Nobody recognized him. And like this girl asked, like, hey, what's your deal, man? And of course, Tom, spoiling everything, because that's what Tom does. He's like, actually, I'm an actor and I'm going to be playing Spider-Man. And she didn't believe him. Like, he literally told her to her face, I'm Spider-Man. No, I don't believe you. Like, that's stuff in the real world. People can't comprehend. Like, I remember there was a comic where Lex Luthor was told that, oh yeah, Superman not only has an alter ego, but it's Clark Kent. And he's like, I don't believe you. Because like Lex Luthor cannot comprehend the fact that this dude, this godlike being has an alter ego, and it's this fucking journalist. Like, like, it's not comprehensible. Like, I will always stand by that the glasses, it's not like just the glasses. It's the idea surrounding Superman nobody would be willing to recognize him because of many different factors. Like, I will stand by that forever, and I don't care what anybody says. No, fuck off.
No,
shut up.
Like, it's not just the glasses. It's the mannerisms. It's the way he like carries himself. It's the speech impaired. Like, it's everything. I mean, the scene where the scene, you know, again, because I saw this yesterday. I was watching the movie yesterday where where Superman leaves, and then Clark Kent comes into Lois's apartment, and Lois is going to change, and he takes off the glasses. He takes off the glasses, and he's like, "Yeah, I just pulled Lois Lane." But wait a minute, I didn't pull Lois Lane. Superman did. Wait a minute, I'm Superman. Should I tell her that I'm Superman? And he's like, "Oh, Lois, I have something to tell you." And then as she comes back, he's like, "Oh, I just wanted to tell you about the place that we're going for debt." Like, that is the perfect representation of like the difference between Clark Kent and Superman.
Yeah.
So hopefully David Corenswet does a good job as Clark. Because I feel like for playing Superman, yes, you can be a great Superman, but you have to also be a great Clark Kent. I feel like that's the reason why people don't really necessarily like Henry Cavill's portrayal, because they even though some people do like his Superman, his Clark Kent isn't really Clark Kent. He's basically just Superman.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really like it. The way that the vibe I get is like he's just himself as both, and I'm like, okay, that's like an interesting way of doing it, but like interesting in general, but not interesting to me. If people like it, that's fine. But yeah, I loved. What else did I really? I love the shots, like so many shots of him and Lois. Like, I
was not expecting. I honestly, because like, I mean, I know James Gunn said, "Oh, like we're screw the origin." Like, you know his origin by now. Like, you are like, I'm not doing that. We are going to go like smack dab in the middle of things. I think he's been Superman for like what, a year, maybe
a year or two. So I'm because obviously in the trailer, like it's leading us to believe that Lois and Clark are just friends. But then we see Lois in I'm gonna say Superman, because Superman we see her with Superman, not Clark, except for the scene where like I think they're in like his apartment or her apartment and they're kissing. So I don't know if Lois knows that he's Superman or if Clark I think so, because I mean she's kissing Superman and she's kissing Clark, and I'm pretty sure unless she's like cheating on one or the other, that doesn't really make sense to me.
But he didn't have his glasses, so he didn't have his glasses in that in either scene. So I don't know. So I mean, if she does know that he's Superman, honestly, that eliminates the issue, because it's like, okay, you know what? We don't have to have another my Chill Adventures with Superman fiasco. Because I'm sorry that plot was stupid. I'm sorry. That immediately made me not want to watch the show anymore, because I'm like, are you kidding me? You're mad because I didn't tell you my secret identity? What do you want? What are you mad at me for? I'm sure. Listen, you know what? Okay, I'm being shallow. I'll probably watch it at some point, but that scene really, really made me mad.
Yeah, I just liked, as I said, I liked how they're not doing the will they, won't they crap. It's just like, we know they will, just like stop. And I like how the vibe I'm getting is like, the whole thing is like Clark is who I am, Superman is what I do. I liked, the little bits of like the Fortress of Solitude. We saw like Kellex, or one of the other like Superman robots, which is like really cool. It kind of, that retrofuturism vibe that I'm definitely getting from this.
I would say the scene that won me over, it was the scene of him saving the girl. That was like, okay. Now you won me over. Like, I was already willing to see this movie because I am a Superman fan and I love DC and I want DC to, beat Marvel. I need DC to beat Marvel, please. But when he saved that little girl, and listen, people were complaining, oh, why didn't he take the girl out the way instead of just shielding her? Why if he's so fast to get to the girl and shield her, why didn't he just push her out the way? Maybe because moving someone at super speed might actually kill them or give them whiplash.
Remember from Days of Future Past when they were breaking out Magneto? He's like, hey, I gotta hold your head, man, so you don't get hurt with whiplash. What? Whiplash.
Seriously, people are finding the dumbest things to complain about.
I mean, I will say, like, The Flash sucks. It's a terrible movie, but like, I like how they do like showcase the fact that like The Flash is so fast that that he can't actually touch humans, or else he might like fuck up something. Like that's kind of like like he can't, like it definitely was an interesting hindrance for that character. Like he can't actually touch
I
someone.
didn't really like it. I
think well, the thing is, it gives like some sort of, because the thing is, like, the Flash is the fastest man alive. So the fact that like they showcase that like it's not easy to save everyone, like grabbing everyone, because it's like, because then like the Flash is such an overpowered fucking character that like he can, like, you know, like there was the episode, remember the episode of the show The Flash, where like he stopped time for like a day because like a nuke was gonna go off.
Oh yeah, Flash.
That was so insanely overpowered. Like, so I like how they like showcase, like, okay, he has to put the baby in the fucking microwave, and stupid, yes, but like I thought that was an interesting way of like he can't actually touch anybody because he might actually like fuck up their like body chemistry, or they might like fuck up his brain. Like that's it. Like, is it the best thing ever? No, but it gives the Flash some sort of like hindrance with his powers. That's not like, I mean, just the Flash's version of kryptonite.
It's kind of inconsistent, because in Suicide Squad we literally saw the Flash punch someone in super speed. So it's like, I don't know. I kind of would prefer if you could just move someone at super speed.
I think that's, but that's mainly the horrible continuity between movies for the DCU. Yeah. So I blame it more on that than like,
I kind of just prefer if, like, you know, oh hey, like I'm, you know, like in with Quicksilver. But anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah,
but
so
yeah, I will now. The thing that I am most excited for is Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. Now, obviously, I don't think Nicholas Hoult. I mean, Devin definitely is right. I mean, I think we've seen Lex Luthor way too much, but you can't have a Superman story without Lex Luthor. Now, you can have Lex Luthor in it, but don't have him be the main villain right now. Have him be like lurking in the shadows, or have him be like, you know, this omniscient threat to Superman at all times. Mm-hmm. Because watching Superman 78 yesterday, I would say the weakest part of that movie was Lex Luthor. The weakest part of that movie was Lex Luthor, because I'm just like, okay, it's oddly convenient that he's just able to figure out that kryptonite is his weakness. We don't see him that much in the movie, and then when we do, he's just like, okay, I'm gonna kill him now because why not? He foiled my plans of having the biggest heist, and now I have to kill Superman now. I just feel like Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor was kind of weak to me. Heck. I mean, I know his performance was bad, but at least Jesse Eisenberg had more of a reason why he wanted to kill Superman. That's just me. But I am definitely excited because I think Nicholas Hoult is an amazing actor.
It's Cherry. It's Cherry. Here, it's Cherry.
I'm glad that people are like now starting to see that like Nicholas Hoult is an amazing actor, and I'm excited for his portrayal.
I mean, I just saw Juror number 2 the other day, and he's really good. I mean, he does have like comic book prowess. I mean, he was Beast for 4 movies, so you know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, I don't. Now, is he gonna beat Michael Rosenbaum? I don't know. No one's ever gonna beat Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor, and I haven't even seen all of Smallville, and I know that Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor is like.
And that's where you're wrong, Mr. Kent. I am the villain of the story.
Or even heck, I mean, I know it's controversial, but heck, even like Superman Returns, I mean, no, it's just it's hard to deny. Like, Kevin Spacey's a sack of shit, but he is a great actor. He did do a good job as Lex Luthor.
He did.
I quote that lives in my head rent free sometimes. Whenever I think
wrong,
I'm just like, but no, yeah, now I would say the scene that had me very intrigued was the scene where the people of Metropolis were like hating Superman because and I like how we see that's really affects him because obviously he wants to save people. He feels like he's letting them down because whatever happened. He feels like he's letting them down, and people he's moping. He's not moping. He genuinely has a reason to be defeated right now because the people that he is trying to save, the people that of the city he loves, hates him. Hello, like what the come on, man.
But it's not like somebody dies and he's like, Superman was never real. I don't know this world a thing. Nobody stays good in this world. It's like, bro, it's one thing happened. Why are you fucking acting like this? Like, I like how the vibe we're getting is like, they hate me, but I'm going to save them anyway, rather than they hate me. Superman was never real, just a dream from a farmer from Kansas. It's like, fuck off. Like, just there is the, I like, I'm reading the comments on the trailer. Like, it's funny. Like so many, like, oh, I like how the trailer starts with Superman at his lowest, then ends with him taking to the skies.
I'm very
Superman being Superman, saving people, being a beacon of hope during dark times, finally. And then there was another one. Every time someone likes my comment, I'll watch it again. Meanwhile, the comment has gotten 71,000 likes.
I will say I'm very interested into seeing how the flying scenes are going to be in this movie because listen, it's 2024. It's not 1978. You definitely need to have great flying scenes with Superman, especially Superman. Like, one thing I will give credit to Man of Steel, when he was flying, you felt that. Like, you felt the power of, like, him flying.
Yeah.
So, I guess all that's left is the three amigos, Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, and Mr. Terrific.
And Metamorpho.
Oh, I was talking about the heroes.
Well, Metamorpho's a hero.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
That sounds like a villain. Okay.
No, Metamorpho's a hero.
So, yeah, I'm very interested because, I kind of, the vibes I'm getting is kind of similar to Black Adam's Justice Society of America, which I actually liked that part of the movie. I wish we got a movie on them instead because I actually liked Hawkman. I liked I definitely love Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate. And I will say I didn't hate Noah Centineo or Quintella Swindell as Cyclone and Adam Smasher, respectively. I thought they were all good. Like,
yeah, like I feel like
Aldous Hodge and Pierce Brosnan were the best parts, but
yeah, like
I liked
apparently Mr. Terrific is like he's supposed to be like his role in the movie is like akin to like Dr. Fate's, which I can understand because he's clearly the leader. Not Gardner's definitely not the leader.
No, I know. I mean, I've literally, as my job, we've theorized what this is going to be. I mean, I've theorized so much about it, like offered so many ideas, but I think what this is going to be, it's going to be kind of a mix of the Terrifics, which was a comic book that came out in 2018, 2019, with a little bit of JLI, Justice League International, because Maxwell Lord is in the movie. So there might be something with that, with hints to the future with the Authority. I don't think they're going to do anything with the Authority yet, but the vibe I'm getting is the Terrifics. But instead of Phantom Girl and Plastic Man, we're getting Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. So, but because the ones in the comics were Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Plastic Man, and Phantom Girl were the Terrifics. They were essentially the like modern DC version of Fantastic Four. And that's the vibe I'm getting here. But like Phantom Girl, she's a Legion of Superheroes character, so I understand not bringing her in. And Plastic Man, I feel like, is a character that they can do much more with. So they're probably like, okay, we're getting a Lanterns show. Let's confirm Guy Gardner is a Green Lantern. So like, okay, we'll do that. So I like that as well. I like how so it seems like we're getting the Terrifics. I don't know if they're going to be called the Terrifics, but from the set photos, they're wearing like a badge.
Yeah, they're wearing like the same like outfit, basically. Just
because they're all wearing similar outfits, and they're wearing a badge that's the logo for Maxwell Lord. So it seems like we're getting like instead of Stag, because I mean we saw Stag Industries, which owned the Terrifics in the comics. And Stag and Metamorpho is a character that is acquainted to Stag because I believe he is married to Stag's daughter. So there's like a whole stuff. So I'm getting the vibe that it's like we're gonna get Maxwell Lord, like maybe between Lord and Stag. Like we're gonna be getting like something between the two of them, and like maybe Maxwell Lord is like trying to do fucked up shit with the Terrifics, and then but Stag is like, no, I'll let you do whatever you want. So there's like I think there's gonna be like a thing with that, but it'll be like a small subplot. So
yeah, because I feel like my theory, because I mean, obviously, I don't think James Gunn's gonna put these people in there if there's not a reason for. And plus, at this point, are we really gonna question James Gunn's ability to balance character? I mean, dude, the man made 4 movies with an ensemble cast. I think I think we'll be fine. I think my theory is that while Superman is loved by people, I don't think he is cherished like the Terrific. I guess we'll just call him the Terrifics. I think Superman's going to be like, oh, he's still beloved and everything, but he's not those guys. And meanwhile, Superman proves that even though he may not have an entire team of heroes by his side, he proves that he is the best of out of all of them because of his willpower and his determination to like do the right thing. And I think I mean I'm speculating because like the scene where he's like inside Stag Industries and like we see Guy Gardner like and the rest of them like I'm assuming they're like trying to like I don't know. I don't think Superman's going to be working with them more. So I don't think he's going to be like working with them like all the time. It's more of like, okay, you guys are doing the right. You guys want what I want. Let's just like, try to find common ground with each other but I don't respect the men that you're working for.
Yeah, because I also think that there's going to be a like. James Gunn said that out of the 4 of them, Mr. Terrific has the biggest role, which makes sense. So my feeling is that Mr. Terrific is the best out of all of them, like in terms of moral compass, because the other 3 characters are Guy Gardner, who's a fucking asshole. He's a fucking dipshit. He's an asshole. Yeah, he's a hero, but he's like he's very 90s. Like, even though he wasn't a character made in the 90s, he feels like a very like 90s character. So where he's like extreme, like loudmouth, boisterous, just kind of a dickhole. So, but he's still like a good hero deep down, but it's just like because there's a reason he was picked for the Green Lanterns. But like at the same time, he's a loudmouth dickhole that got one-shotted by Batman. So
now I'm very because I know Isabella Mirased, which honestly, she clearly got an upgrade. You know what? Can we just talk about Isabella Mirased for a second? Because her career, as far as movies, she was in Transformers: The Last Knight, Dora, Madam Web, and now she's in this movie. If we're talk about a glow up, like, hey,
I've actually heard Dora is actually a pretty good movie. Like I've heard Dora's.
Okay, but like, come on, man, really?
I've heard it's good. Like I can't. I don't know. I can't judge it, but yeah.
Fine, but she was in The Last Knight.
Yeah.
And Madam Web, 2 of the worst movies.
Of their respective years. Yeah.
I mean,
so, don't get me wrong. Like I'm glad, and I think she'll be a good Hawkgirl. And well, Hawkgirl is another character that like is kind of, as we remember mainly from the Justice League show, even though this version is not going to be the Thanagarian version, he already confirmed that. James Gunn said it's going to be the Kendra Saunders version of the character. So, but even then, Hawkgirl has always been kind of a, don't fuck with people. Like I like very headstrong character. I don't
like
fuck with people.
I don't take answers from nobody. Like,
yeah, like that kind of vibe. And then Metamorphose kind of like, you know, he's not an idiot, but he is kind of like he's kind of like a football player. Is like he's kind of a bit of a meathead kind of character. He's not an idiot, but he kind of has like that gym bro kind of feel to it. So those are the three characters that are part of the quote unquote Terrifics or whatever the hell they're going to be called.
I was really wondering like how, because isn't like, because I'm if since you know we're doing Kendra Saunders, is she like, well, you know, my knowledge of Hawk Girl is simply Legends of Tomorrow and the cartoon. Is Kendra Saunders immortal? Is she princess? Is she princess? Like,
yeah, she's one of the incarnations. Like they, with how they did Golden Age versus Silver Age was just because it was originally like the Egyptian version, and then the Silver Age they introduced like the Thanagarian version, and they're like two separate versions. And then when they did Post Crisis, they tried to like make it work, but it didn't. But Kendra Saunders is an incarnation of the a modern version of the Egyptian Golden Age version. So we're not getting the Thanagarian version.
So if she were to die, she would get reincarnated in another person, or she would just like, you know, become like, she would come back to life just with no memory. Like it would just be a reset.
Well, I believe...
I only have knowledge of Legends of Tomorrow because I know, you know.
So I looked it up because I'm like, I don't know. I'm not hugely familiar with Hawk Girl. So I looked it up. My bad. I fucked up. The new Hawk Girl is Kendra Saunders, granddaughter of the Golden Age Hawk Girl's cousin, Speed Saunders. Okay, so it's an entirely different version, and she is described as Hispanic, so that makes sense why Isabella Merced is that character. But I think what they did is, I think with all the version, I think with the Hawkman series in 2018, they combined every version, because what they did, I really liked the way they did this. Yes, the original version was the Egyptian version, but they've gotten many incarnations, and not just across time, but across space. They introduced a Hawkman that was on Krypton when it exploded, and like he's been on different planets. And like they also introduced that the Egyptian version was not the original. It was like the Deathbringers was like the original Hawkman, like before time itself kind of thing. It was really cool with how they tried to make it work, and I think that like for the most part worked in terms of combining all the continuities. I mean, it's certainly better than what they try to do with the Donna Troy backstory, which they keep fucking up. But yeah, I think that they might be going for that, but I think like with the Kendra Saunders version is the one that's like so far removed from the fucked up, like annoying continuity with the other two characters that are like, this is going to be her own version, so we don't have to deal with the complicated nature of the other Hawk Girl character. So I respect that because it can be a lot. So I think this is her own version. She's maybe a little bit connected to the Golden Age version, but that's like kind of it. She's not connected to the Thanagarian version or anything like that. So yeah, I think that's what they're doing, so it's not confusing for people.
But yeah, like this trailer, like I like how, because I was watching John Campia's like, you know, like predictions and everything, and he made a good point, because this was before the trailer came out. He was like, he was saying how this trailer was probably the most important trailer of the year, because if this trailer was bad, they are already like 10 steps back. Because look at what happened to Transformers 1. That trailer, and I also was like, I'm not watching this. This trailer looks this movie looks terrible.
It didn't look terrible, but it did not look good.
Like I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, really? Like, this looks like something for little kids. But boy, was I wrong.
Transformers is for little kids, technically.
But the point is, like, if you were trying to market it as a movie for everyone to see it, why are you marketing it like something for toddlers to go beg their parents to go see? Paramount did a really bad job with the marketing, and they probably ruined something that could have been a great franchise. So, this trailer was very important. This trailer was a very important one, and I'm glad to say that. And I know people are going. Which, by the way, you know what? I'll get to that soon because I still have stuff I got to say about this Henry Cavill BS.
Right.
But yeah, this trailer was amazing, and it definitely sets the tone of expectations because beforehand, Michael was my most anticipated movie of 2025. I ain't gonna lie now. It's Superman. It's Superman. It's Superman because in the times that we are in today, like, with war happening, people, murdering other people, this, that, and the other, I think the world needs something like this because we need to have some hope in humanity. And the big thing about Superman is that, he's hope. Heck, he wears it on his body. The symbol is literally means hope. So I feel like Superman coming out next year is something that I feel like a lot of people need. It's one of those movies that really people just need in their lives because I know Superman's not real, but boy, do we need a Superman more than ever, especially in today's climate.
Yeah,
because it's just like let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Okay.
To all the Snyder cultists,
now we're getting into this again. Why do we gotta focus on those dick bags? Why can't we just enjoy the trailer?
I gotta say it. I have to say this because it's just.
By the way, the trailer is now at 5.2 million views.
Good, excellent. To all the Snyder cultists and the Henry Cavill shows, I have this to say:
you need to shut the fuck up.
Again, for those who are watching this and are Zack Snyder cultists, I have this to say, and I'm doubling down.
You need to shut the fuck up.
Because seriously, shut up. We get it. You love Henry Cavill. I love Henry Cavill. John wasn't a fan of Henry Cavill, but he definitely.
I like Henry Cavill. I don't like the movie that much, but I like him.
He wasn't a fan of Man of Steel and BVS. Mark loved Henry Cavill. Devin loved Henry Cavill. I don't know about Rob. I'm just gonna assume that he liked him, but maybe he didn't like Man of Steel. The point is, we all love Henry Cavill, okay? But you have to let it go. Let it go. I have never seen people hate for Superman this hard. Where were y'all for Batfleck? Why didn't y'all do this for Why didn't you guys do this for Robert Pattinson? I mean, people did complain, but they weren't like this. It wasn't like this. I don't understand why people love listen, I love Henry Cavill, but y'all are being ridiculous. Okay? It is to the point where we are complaining about the laws of physics. Oh, hey, dude, he's here. Yeah. Okay. So Rob did like Henry Cavill, Man of Steel. But hey, my point still stands. We all love Henry Cavill, but you guys have to let it go. You guys really have to let it go. It's to the point where it's annoying, and we don't even want to talk Superman with you because you're really. Yeah. And obviously the big elephant in the room, James Gunn. Listen, James Gunn. I'm not defending his tweets, but those tweets were years ago. Practically before he even became a mainstream director. If we're seriously gonna keep bringing that up to try to basically ruin this movie, I might actually have to slap somebody in the face. I'm not saying his jokes were funny. His jokes were definitely inappropriate, but we are not going to condemn a man for for tweets that he made 10 years ago. 10
or like 15 years ago at this
15
point.
years ago. Seriously, get over it. Now y'all are just playing dirty. Would Superman, if Superman was real, would he approve of this? Would he approve of this, of you guys bashing?
But the thing is, here's the thing, Jay. They don't care because they don't see Superman as the embodiment of hope. They see him as a fucking like mopey sack of shit that that says that it was Superman was never real and just a dream of a farmer from Kansas type shit. Like
Listen,
that's
I rewatched Man of Steel, I rewatched BVS, and I rewatched the Snyder Cut. I still love Henry Cavill. I still love Man of Steel to this day. But after watching Superman, the movie last night, I have to say I understand now why people have problems with Henry Cavill. And you know what? I kind of have to agree. Zack Snyder didn't really do a good job when it came to Clark Kent.
I don't want to lay blame on Zack Snyder totally. David S. Goyer was the one who wrote those fucking movies.
Fine. David S. Goyer.
David S. Goyer and Chris Terrio were the main ones that I would say are the biggest one. Because everyone says Zack Snyder. It's like Zack Snyder didn't fucking write shit. He directed it. So, and not saying like that's not his fault as well. I mean, he is technically at fault. He did direct it. He did have a style that didn't mesh. Because like if you took the same script and gave it to like Brad Bird, he probably could have made that work. But at the same time, it was David S. Goyer who like he couldn't figure out Dark Knight Rises. And he's like, well, hey, Chris Nolan, I made this Superman script instead. What if Superman was real? And Nolan's like, cool, I don't want to direct this, but show it to Warner Brothers. And they're like, yeah, it sounds cool. And then they're like, let's start a cinematic universe out of this. And it was not right. So
yeah, like listen, I mean, I feel like I understood what they were trying to do. They were trying to make Superman tell the story of what if Superman was in our world. And I feel like the Superman being so hated, I get it. For that version, I understand. Because in the original with Christopher Reeve, people loved Superman. But at the same time, realistically speaking, if somebody like this was real, we would be afraid. We would be afraid of this guy. Because it's like this man has the power to wipe all of us out without even breaking a sweat. So realistically, I would be afraid of someone like that. But the thing that they get it wrong is Superman is supposed to be, even though Superman can do those things, even though he has the option to, he doesn't. And he does inspire hope. We don't really see that in Man of Steel. We sadly don't see that in BVS. Unironically speaking, the only time we ever actually saw something like that, unironically, was in Justice League. And I'm not even trying to be funny. That's the only time we actually ever saw Henry Cavill be resemble the golden age of Superman. That's literally the only time. Because I understand, and I am an avid defender of BVS. I understand what they were trying to do, but I feel like they definitely made Superman way too serious, where he's not supposed to be serious. He can be serious when it's time to get serious. When there's threats coming, and he has I'm not saying he has to be smiling, because when Christopher Reeve, when it was time to get serious, he was very intimidating, but he was also polite. He was kind. He was a
character. He wasn't a plot device. He wasn't one-dimensional. That was the biggest problem I had with Man of Steel when I rewatched it before, Aquaman or The Flash. I forget which one. Aquaman 2. When I watched Man of Steel, BVS, and Suicide Squad, I watched Man of Steel and I'm like, this is fucking boring. It's not even it's just watching the movie, ignoring all of the one-dimensional criticisms. I'm not, Superman never smiles, all that, I am Jesus, all that shit.
I am Jesus.
Yeah, it's that. I mean, the thing is, Superman Jesus symbolism has been there since the character was created.
Yeah, I mean, he basically is a god. So
that's I mean, I know people are it's a Moses story, not a Jesus story. It's yes, but there is going to be inevitable comparisons to Christ no matter what. But it's I'm not talking about, it's just it's a movie. Man of Steel is a movie that's so hollow but acts like it means more than what it is. It's just so there's so many proverbs and platitudes that are half the movie is trailer quotes, and just the dialogue is just like it has to, like every piece of dialogue has to mean something all the time, and when every piece of dialogue has to mean something, nothing does. So it just feels like it was trying to be way more important than it actually was. I'm not like, this is a personal grievance. I don't like the splittist narrative. I've never been a huge fan of splittist narratives. I like a linear narrative. But again, that's just a personal opinion. I don't like the fucking tint. It looks like garbage.
Which by the way, when did y'all become like experts on color grading? Did you like seriously? Oh, the teaser looks like a CW. I'm sorry. Are you an expert on color grading? We have been so used to color. We have been so used to grayish superhero movies, and I'm talking about Marvel too, because they're oh man.
At least with like, and I was saying this before, like on my other thing was like, at least with Wonder Woman, it makes sense. It's a war movie. Like it's got to be like, of course, it's like excruciatingly gray and depressing. That's what the fucking war looked like back in fucking 1918. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like for a Batman movie, that
fucking Tim Burton's Batman was brighter than that shit. Like it looked like it was being filmed underwater.
Like you have no idea how much of a breath of fresh air it was when I saw Doctor Strange, regardless of how good the movie was. Do you understand? Do you understand how refreshing it was to see a movie with color?
Yeah,
with
amazing.
light, with a personality, with a soul.
Big gray villains. Remember Nando, big gray villains. Like he's always shitting on big gray villains. It's like, it's just, they're so boring to look at. Even just in the teaser trailer, like you could see like the dynamic, like cinematography. Like it looks just so like, just like how it surrounds the action. And it just looks so like, it looks dynamic. Like I like it just, like even for smaller scenes, like I really liked that. I think that's really cool. And Crypto being a good boy, like love that.
Cryptocurrency.
Don't remind me.
But I mean, people that listen, and Man of Steel definitely gets a lot of things wrong, but I still love it because I'm when it comes to comic book movies, I'm willing to accept different iterations of a character. You are allowed to change things about a character if it makes sense. If there's a reason for it.
If it makes sense or if it doesn't betray the core of the character.
Like, I love Iron Man 3, and I have no problem with the Mandarin twist. It actually makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Makes sense why they did that. Because throughout our entire history, when we think of terrorism, we think of, that. Whereas the Mandarin, and when we saw the Mandarin, it's like, that's like the face of terrorism. Whereas the twist of, he's not the real Mandarin, it's Killian, which it's a good twist. You think that's the face of terrorism, where it's not. Terrorism can come from can wear the face of anybody. But people want to get in their feelings because it's not the Mandarin from the comics. Yo, like, listen, that's why.
And then they try to go out of their way to fix it in Shang-Chi, and then nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah. Which, by the way, like, at that point, what's the point of even telling the story of the Mandarin if Iron Man's dead? Oh crap. Now, granted, there are some times where, yes, you have to do things like it is in the comics to respect the source material. Heck, why do you think people don't like the MCU's version of Spider-Man? I don't like the MCU's version of Spider-Man because it betrays literally the fundamental core aspects of why Spider-Man is the way that he is. By not telling Uncle Ben's story, by not having him learn with great power comes great responsibility until conveniently it's Aunt May that tells I'm sorry, I'm not letting that go. I'm not letting that go. I am not letting that go.
I love how they just grind the movie to a halt and they say the line. It's like, why is this here? Oh, you're going to die in 2 seconds. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, with great power comes great responsibility. Oh! I can't catch my breath. But yeah, like, but with Superman, yeah, like, listen, I'll defend him killing Zod because he had no other choice. And if you're gonna criticize him doing it, then criticize Christopher Reeve killing Zod and smiling afterwards.
Yeah,
But-
that was a very. It's just like I think like the reason people were upset about it was one, and my dad said this when he watched Man of Steel for the first time. He's like, Superman 2 did it more creatively by, like Superman swindling Lex Luthor into having everybody else's powers get nullified instead of his own. And the fact, it's and the fact that, he like, and to be fair, I think it was in the TV version, they did show that they were still alive. They got they got sent to prison. But
I'm talking about the theatric release.
Yeah, but they like threw him off, and it was done like more creatively. And then the way Man of Steel did it, it was just very, very brutal. Like there was like a sense of animalistic brutality to it that was kind of just awkward to watch. But yeah, I think it did something like, because I remember like the original Christopher Nolan wanted them to go back into the Phantom Zone, and Zack Snyder was like, no. And he's like, okay. But I don't know. It just like, the way it was showcased, it was just like a bit off. And
it's not like he wanted to do it though.
I'm not saying he wanted to. It's just like the idea of snapping someone's like, there is the I mean, obviously he had to do it. I understand the context. I understand the that he had to do it, and I got no problem with that. It's just like it's just like the brutality of snapping someone's legs was a little bit like, but there was like no other way he could do it. So
I'm not against it, because it's like, I'm not, there are only two people, I guess you could say three. Superman is included because he definitely believes in, justice, but not that kind of justice. At least when it comes to humans. When it comes to humans, yes, Superman should not kill a human. But if it comes to anything else, yes, Superman is entitled to these and right, because if they are not human, they are, animalistic beings, and if there's no other way, I have to kill you. I'm sorry. I don't have a problem with heroes killing people unless it's Batman. But sometimes Batman, people would live if you would just kill that psychotic clown. But anyways, yeah, like, I mean, I feel like people can like Man of Steel with but acknowledge that it definitely doesn't really get Superman all that well, especially Clark Kent, because again, Henry Cavill isn't really. You could, I mean, if anything, Perry and all the people at the Daily Planet are kind of stupid for not putting 2 and 2 together. Because it's like, wait a minute, you're literally just Superman with glasses. You're Superman with glasses.
Mm-hmm.
You act nothing like you act just like Superman. It's Superman, like, seriously. But I mean, is it sad that Cavill is not going to be Superman anymore? Yes, but you know what? That's life. It's time to move on. We did that for Spider-Man. It's time for you guys to feel the same pain. Okay? Do you understand how painful it was to have to deal with 3 reboots? 3. I was sad for Tobey Maguire, and I was happy that Andrew Garfield. I was skeptical of Andrew Garfield because I loved Tobey Maguire. But then the first movie came and won me over, and I was set. And then it got rebooted again, and I was mad, very, very mad. And I'm like, who's this Tom Holland kid? Saw Civil War. I was like, okay, you won me over. Now the movie that I was solo movies, however, that's another thing. But as far as Tom Holland's portrayal as Spider-Man, he did a good job. So, like, okay, you know what? He did a good job when the writers actually, like, gave him something good to work off.
When he wasn't Iron Man Jr.
Yeah, let me rephrase that, because Tom Holland isn't the reason why Spider-Man in the MCU.
He was the reason why we got the ending we deserved for No Way Home. He's like,
Yes,
Listen
he
to
is the
me,
reason.
fucking Kevin Feige. If you don't fucking make Spider-Man a your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, I'm gonna fucking gut you like a pig. Like, you know,
Yeah,
that
and,
was
and in the fourth movie, I guess that doesn't matter anymore because Zendaya is going to be in the movie, and I guess the spell is apparently magically going to go away.
I mean, they said Zendaya was gonna be in it. They didn't say that the spell was gonna go away.
Okay, but even then, in No Way Home, I still don't like the fact how Zendaya had a like, oh, like that guy looks familiar. Why did you put that in there? If the spell made people forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man and that Peter Parker is Peter Parker. Just commit to it. Don't try to now retcon it into being like, oh, I think I remember you. No, you don't. And I swear to God, if they don't do that in the next Spider-Man movie, I'm never watching a Spider-Man movie made by the made by Marvel Studios ever again. I'm not joking. Unless he's in an Avengers movie, I'm not watching another Spider-Man project made by Disney. I'm sick and tired of like, the reputation. I don't know which reputation is worse: Spider-Man under Disney or Spider-Man under Sony.
At least Spider-Man under Sony, we have the Spider-Verse movies.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Peter Parker's Spider-Man under Sony or Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
Well, we have Peter Parker, Peter B. Parker, and
you know what I mean. And you know what? No, I don't like what they did to. I don't like what they did with him in Across the Spider-Verse. They made him very irresponsible with his child. Why are you bringing your child with you in a war, in a multiverse war? What is wrong with you? That is not cute. That's very irresponsible and very, very dangerous. I don't care if she has powers. Stupid.
Okay.
But, whatever. But yeah, I mean, this movie. I really hope this movie is good. Because this movie is literally like, I know Creature Commandos is like the start of the DCU, but
which, by the way, the newest episode today. By the way,
I'm gonna wait till it all comes out. I'm gonna watch it. I'm just gonna wait till it all comes out.
Yeah, it's good so far. We're getting the episode on Weasel today.
I really do hope that Superman is good because I need you don't understand, John. I need DC to beat Marvel for once. For once, I just need DC to win at something. I need some parity. Here. Because Marvel has been on a cold streak, and this is DC's time to take advantage of that and capitalize. Let Marvel do their, multiverse war. Let them do their Avengers movies that I'm really sure I don't know how. Listen, I still think the Dr. Doom thing is stupid, but let DC actually take their time. Take their time. Take as many time as you need. We don't need a Batman movie now. We already have a Batman movie with Matt Reeves. We don't need a Justice League movie in the next 5 years. Build up to it properly.
We don't even have a Justice League movie planned.
Oh,
we just we have Paradise Lost, which is going to be a prequel. Because the 5 movies that we're going to be getting are Superman. The 5 official ones that were Gods and Monsters that the year ago, like in January 2023, when he announced everything, were Superman, The Authority, Brave and the Bold, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and Swamp Thing. Those were the 5 movies. Now it has since been, the stuff we're getting Clayface in 2026, which is the Mike Flanagan written Clayface movie, and then we're going to be getting allegedly we're getting Teen Titans. By the same writer who
if we get Teen Titans, I think like, I don't normally use this term often. If we get a Teen Titans movie in live action, which, by the way, please be better than that god awful TV show. But honestly, I'm sure it will. A Teen Titans movie would actually make me like melt.
Yeah. And it's gonna be written by the same chick who did Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. So
if I want my Teen Titans and I want it done right. Honestly, if it were up to me, this is who I would have on the in the Teen Titans, so that and this is biased. And you'll know when my bias comes in. Obviously, we have Damian, so I have Damian being the Teen Titans.
Well, yeah, they already confirmed that he's going to be the Robin in Brave
Okay.
and the Bold. So
Starfire, that's a must. Raven, Kid Flash. I want Wally on this team because I think Wally works
Black
best.
Wally or White Wally?
I don't care. Blue Beetle, yes, I'm going there. Put Blue
Even
Beetle
though he's not a teenager in this now confirmed.
Put him in the team. I don't care. Put him in the Teen Titans. I want Shalomar Duenya in the DCU more. Okay, I know he's getting an animated.
He's getting an animated movie.
I want him on the Teen Titans. He can be He can be one of the. He can be one of the. You know, the mentor figures. Okay, and then I don't think we need Cyborg, but
wow, keeping the black man down.
I don't think we need Cyborg. I mean, honestly, because Cyborg, I don't know, because Cyborg, technically speaking, isn't even a teenager in the in the Teen Titans. Like, you know, I feel like he works better with the Justice League.
No, I want Martian Manhunter in the Justice League. Fuck that shit.
Who's another? I mean, Beast Boy. Yeah, I forgot about Beast Boy. You can't have a Teen Titans team without Beast Boy.
I mean, he originally wasn't on the team, but.
Okay, but like if we're talking about like the modern age, you can't have.
Well, if we're talking about what Marv Wolfman and George Perez did, then yes, the new Teen Titans, because the original team was Aqualad, Wonder Girl, Kid Flash, and Robin. I think that was the original team.
Like, and please, for the love of God, please don't put like Tara in this movie. Like, we've seen that so goddamn much to the point where we can predict it from a mile away that she's going to turn on them and, you know, run to slay the child fondler. Which, by the way, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't, no, please. Because what was the point of making him a PD? Why?
Because it showed how adult comic books can be. I actually have no idea.
That was like the weirdest thing. Because when I was watching Teen Titans: The Judas Contract, and I saw that I'm like, wait a minute, is Slade and Terry?
Well, okay, so in the Judas Contract, they made it so that she was the like pusher of that, but then he said no. Because in the original comic, they fully admitted that they fucked. So like in the comic, it was in the comic, it was confirmed that Deathstroke fucked underage Tara. That's they 100%. I mean, Hal Jordan kissed an underage girl, so you know, like there was that too. Lois Lane became black. Punisher became black. Comics, man. Like there's way more fucked up shit. I mean, Batman, Green Arrow, and Red Arrow all got raped. Like, you know, it's just like, Dick Grayson got raped.
What what? All right, you know what? Forget it. Which, by the way, we the cool kids do not support any of that at all. We are just talking about the comic books.
Anyway.
But like, please don't put that in that movie. Like, I mean, now, granted,
I don't think they're gonna do Judas Contract. That's just way too.
I mean, if
that would require proper build up.
If they were to make a Teen Titans movie, should they put Slade in there?
Oh yeah, Slade needs to be in there.
Slade has to be in there. It's like that's like a must.
And that's the shame with the show, because I'm like, S.I. Morales was so good as Deathstroke. He was just trapped in a garbo show. Same with Brenton Thwaites as Dick Grayson. He was good. It's just, again, garbage show.
But yeah, I mean, the roster doesn't have to be what I just said. I mean, heck,
you could have like Bumblebee in there. You could have like
Superboy. You know, like you can but hey, I'll have to listen. You don't have to have exactly, but I want Sholomar Duenya in Teen Titans. I want it there, and I want it now. And please do not make Booster Gold an old man. Please, I'm sorry. Do not cast that. I'm sorry. Don't cast that guy as Booster Gold. You have a perfect the dude from the Eternals, the one who is like a Bollywood star. Do not cast him. He's like 50. If he's supposed to be the best friends with Blue Beetle, why are you casting a 50-year-old?
He's best friends with the Ted Kord Blue Beetle. Not
like
Joel Dueña, not
okay.
Jaime
Well,
Reyes.
Sholomar Dueña isn't even. I mean, sorry. Well, Ted Kord isn't the Blue Beetle anymore. So why are we casting a 50-year-old as Booster Gold?
Because that makes sense. Because that's who he is in the comics. Like Booster Gold, you have Dan Garrett, the original Blue Beetle, although now partially he's public domain, partially owned by DC. It's confusing. Then you have Ted Kord, and that's where the Blue Beetle Booster Gold like thing comes from, like the team up, and then you have Jaime Reyes. So
I'm just saying you have the perfect actor for Booster Gold standing right there. Glenn Powell. Cast that guy. He is perfect for Booster Gold. He basically played Booster Gold in Top Gun.
I would prefer Billy Magnuson, but that's just me. I think he would be perfect. But the thing is, I wouldn't mind Kumail Nanjiani. I think he could do it, and that would showcase like the older, like, you know, mentorship. I think would be really good. But yeah, so although speaking of like in terms of the TV shows we're getting Creature Commandos. We have that going on right now. Waller, Lanterns, Paradise Lost, and Booster Gold. And then we're getting allegedly the Blue Beetle animated show and maybe a Dead Man animated show. So obviously we'll see.
As far as so DC has a lot of their plate. I mean, but yeah, please cast Glenn Powell. I mean, Marvel already effed up. I mean, I didn't listen. I'm not mad that they casted Eddie from Stranger Things, but I mean, you had Rudy Pankow right there, who literally he in my opinion is what Johnny Storm is in the comics. He is a hothead and he thinks irrationally and he comes in guns blazing. Plus he's a chick magnet in the show that he was in with Outer Banks. I mean, keyword was spoiler alert, but he's dead. But again, I'm sure wait, what's the actor's name again? The guy who played Eddie in Stranger Things.
Joseph Quinn.
Yeah, I'm sure Joseph Quinn, is going to do great. He did a good job in Gladiator, which I saw that yesterday. I actually liked it. I liked Gladiator too. I thought it was pretty solid. But yeah, DC has they cannot mess up Superman. They cannot screw up, because if this movie, not even financially, critically, if this movie is not critically good, they're already at ground zero. I mean,
well, I would say I don't think critically matters as much, but box office is the really big thing. Because if this thing does not make money, then they're super duper fucked. And critically, doesn't matter to them as long as it doesn't make. Because I think they're expecting $1 billion with this. If I were to guess,
I honestly am worried, because not necessarily it's not James Gunn's fault, but the last two movies that he made, Guardians did well, but it's Guardians of the Galaxy, and everyone loves Guardians of the Galaxy. But the one that really worries me was Suicide Squad, and unfortunately that came out during the pandemic, so we will never know how well that movie would do financially. But I love the Suicide Squad. That's one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. But there are some people, because I feel like people started to turn on James Gunn once the Suicide Squad came out. Because once that movie came out, a lot of people weren't as receptive to that movie. And then once Guardians of the Galaxy came out, people weren't receptive to that one as well. I mean, I'm not saying it was the majority, but there were people who used to be like, James Gunn fans coming out and be like, oh, I didn't like the Suicide Squad or, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I can see, and honestly, and you can see James Gunn's like production and his camera work. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but like with Guardians 2, like that was still like, early, that was like, James Gunn in his prime, or not in his prime, but like in his, like, still like, getting used to, directing those kind of movies. But then once the Suicide Squad came out and the camera work and like the style with the action, like that was like him at his best. And you can see that. And you can see that in Guardians 3 as well. Like you can see like similarly what he did with the Suicide Squad, and you can see that with Superman, like with the fight at the baseball field. I'm like, oh yeah, like that clearly that's screaming James Gunn because I saw that in the last 2 movies that he made. So I'm just hoping that I really do hope that this movie makes money because in the times that we are in, where the blockbuster.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's going to make $1 billion. I think it'll make maybe
not.
like 800. I think it's going to maybe make like 700 to 800 million.
What's the budget?
Nobody knows. The only thing that was known is like it was rumored that like it was 363 million, and then James Gunn was like, that's not fucking accurate at all. So if I were to guess, I would say 150 to 250, and then that's not even going to include the marketing, which is going to be fucking huge for this movie.
Absolutely.
So I can imagine that like this entire thing is probably going to be like $500 million.
I am praying that this movie makes its money.
Yeah.
This movie, dude.
Because if David Zaslav doesn't get his money, this thing is going to be DOA. It's like,
oh my God. Like, seriously, because in the times that we're in, like, the blockbuster phenomenon, it's dead. 2023 was terrible. Every movie, not every movie, because, but a lot of movies that came out during the summer did not do well financially. Heck, the only 2 movies that did well financially during the summertime was Barbenheimer. That's it. I mean,
we got more, and then the first like 6 months of this year was just like Fall Guy failed, Abigail, a horror movie that cost 30 million, failed. Like you had like a bunch of these movies that failed. Like Ride or Die was the first like kind of decent hit. And then, like, obviously, Deadpool and Wolverine kind of swooped in and fucking, had people coming to the theater again, making like $1 billion just like that. And then you had Glicked, which certainly helped. But it's like when you, yeah.
Like, yeah. So like the blockbuster, like blockbusters have not been, a thing in the last 2 years. I mean, even movies that deserve to make that kind of money, like Mission Impossible 3, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Unfortunately, that movie did not do well because of the Barbenheimer effect.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I said it in the group chat. I was saying in the group chat that Inside Out made $1 billion.
Inside Out 2. Well, that one was a slow and steady.
Yeah, that was slow
rise.
And steady.
I'm talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, like broke every fucking record. Like Inside Out 2 started out slower, but it eventually got there because that was kind of a slow and steady thing because like people weren't sure how good that'll do because Disney and Pixar have been on the rocks. So that was more slower, but yes, you are technically, if we're talking about like by the end of it, Inside Out 2 was the like first big money maker of this year. But I think Deadpool and Wolverine was more noticeable because it made like fucking $300 million opening weekend. So
and the problem as to why these movies are not doing well financially is because the budget is so goddamn
they're astronomical.
Big. What movie has the goal to have almost 300 million in budgeting? Like, dude, what the heck? Whatever happened to low budget? Whatever happened to having a reasonable budget? I mean, what was the budget for Godzilla -1? Like what? Below 100 million, and that movie made a buttload of money.
You want to know what the budget was for Godzilla -1?
Because I forget. I know it was like
10 million. $10 million.
Oh my god. $10 million, and that was the best movie of 2023.
And it won Best Visual Effects at the Oscars.
10 million.
Godzilla -1 built this in a cave with a pile of scraps.
No, man. Sorry. It was the second best movie of the year. Oppenheimer was the best movie of 2023. But anyways, like, yeah, like and that's why, and I said it in the, oh my god, yeah, Red One's budget was 250 million. What business does that movie have to have 250 million? What the heck is wrong with?
Is an egotistical douche canoe.
Yeah, I heard that he got I heard that like they paid him like part of that budget to get him onto the movie. But I mean, I said in the group chat, I don't know if you saw, but I did say for a reason why I think 2025's like blockbuster era might come back because we have this. I don't know how you feel about the movie. I don't know how you felt about the trailer. I'm gonna talk to you about I'll ask you after the stream. But the Karate Kid Legends trailer looked pretty promising.
Yeah,
it looked actually looked.
I'm like, you know what? Let him cook.
This looks kind of good. So that coming out. You have Michael coming out, which that movie needs to make $1 billion. That movie needs to make $1 billion.
That's not going to make $1 billion, but
I'm not kidding. I'm not playing around here. That movie needs to make $1 billion. That is a movie that needs to make $1 billion. I forget. All right, I'm gonna have to look up because I know those are the 3 off the top of my head that are coming out in 2025 in the summertime.
You have 28 Years Later. That looks really good.
Oh yeah.
That's got to be one of the best. Like, don't get me wrong, Superman was amazing. The teaser trailer, I would say 28 Years Later fucking dunked on it because 28 Years Later, that has got to be one of the best teaser trailers I've seen.
That trailer freaks me out. That trailer freaks me out.
Yeah, well, to be fair, you're not a big horror guy, so that makes sense. But even then, like, I think the use of Boots by Rudyard Kipling was definitely very good, very ominous. I'm excited. Like, I love the cast. And what I love, and I didn't notice this until, like, I watched it, like, I don't know, for the 5th or 6th time. They don't show the face of any of the infected. They only show the bodies, or like they're from like really far away. Like you see their back, or you see like their front. You never see their eyes. You never see so we don't know what they actually look like, which is scary as fuck.
Yeah, like it's been so long where a trailer actually makes you like scared and doesn't show you what's going on. Because during the trailer, I didn't know what was going on, and the only thing the poem freaked me out. The poem and the music and the beat of that freaked me out. That gave me chills to the point where I actually might watch that movie because of that trailer. That's what a trailer's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you want to watch the movie, not give you the entire plot of the movie and like, oh, I basically saw the movie.
People are complaining about that though, like at least for the Superman trailer. Like I saw a couple of people are like, yeah, it didn't do much for me. We don't know any of the plot. Like it didn't show anything. It's like, bruh.
It's
a teaser trailer.
We are so used to trailers giving us,
because it's like it's a lose. And this, I'm not saying this was like a Snyder cultist. Like I'm just saying this was just like oh yeah. I'm like, oh, he's like, I'm still excited. It's just like we didn't see anything plot wise. It's like, yeah, because it's not the point. But it's like, but if they did actually show more plot, they would have complained, oh, this showed way too much of the plot. They spoiled the entire movie. Like, what's the point now? So it's like
you can't win, man. Okay, so here are the movies that are coming out in the summertime, or during the blockbuster, like during this time, like this, like so May is usually when that time comes around. Karate Kid, Superman, the Minecraft movie, which I know that's gonna bomb. How to Train Your Dragon, Michael, Jurassic World Rebirth. I know that's gonna bomb.
I don't know. The last one made $1 billion.
28 Years Later, that comes out in June. Wait a minute. When does Snow White come out?
March. Late March.
Thank God. Oh, thank God. Thunderbolt? Does that come out? Oh, Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts comes out in May. That, you know what? Blockbusters might be making a comeback. And they might be making a comeback. But yeah, Minecraft. Oh God, that's literally, out of all those movies that I just named, a Minecraft movie, the Minecraft movie, that's literally what is a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas? That's like it's the meme. Like, what is a polar bear?
And they also have the fucking meme of like, as a child, I yearned for the mines. It's like, really, you're fucking saying that fucking meme?
Fantastic. Oh yeah, Fantastic Four too.
That's coming out 2 weeks later.
There
was like a rumor for like a hot sec that like, oh, Marvel's gonna drop the Fantastic Four trailer today to fucking like fuck up Superman, but that turned out not to be true.
Yeah, because I'm still skeptical because when Superman was done shooting, you started filming.
Yeah,
and the movie's supposed to come out next year. it's supposed to come out in like how many months? 5-6 months, maybe even less. And you're just now filming. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, it was so funny because it was like literally the same day. Yeah, I'm glad. It's just like I'm glad that we're getting like, because I mean, literally next month, Supergirl is gonna start filming, and that's coming out in 2026, and then in I believe February, Lanterns is gonna start filming, and then in spring, Batman Part 2 is gonna start filming. So,
I mean, so with Supergirl coming out, I know James Gunn said like he's not gonna tease anything, but do you think he's gonna have a post-credit scene where they do allude to Supergirl? Because it's not like you can't just make a Supergirl movie without like at least setting it up first, especially considering that
I don't know.
Doesn't.
I don't know. He said there's not going to be any teases. Like James
I
was
wouldn't
like,
be
"There's
mad
no
if-
teases."
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be because you kind of. I mean, you don't have to set up any other thing, but you got to at least set up that. That's his cousin, and we kind of have to at least. And now with Supergirl, Man, and a Woman of Tomorrow, do you think that would be warranted of an origin story, or
It's not going to be an origin story. They already confirmed. It's going to be an adaptation of the miniseries of the same name by Tom King.
Oh, okay. So no origin stories.
So essentially, it's the premise is now I don't know how much it's going to adapt. If it's going to be a straight up adaptation or it's just like loosely. So the comic that I know, I haven't read it yet. I do plan to read it before the movie comes out, but the comic is about like Supergirl is celebrating her 21st birthday and she wants to get drunk, so she's going to a planet where there's a red sun so she can get drunk, and chaos ensues along the way type of stuff.
So basically it's like The Hangover mixed with like Weekend at Bernie's, but Bernie's not dead and it's Kara instead.
Well, like nobody's dead. They're not like parading a dead guy around.
Like, wow, okay. Why is she carrying a sword though? I never understood that.
There is a reason why. I don't want to spoil because I know a lot of the comic because a buddy of mine read it and I like researched it. I don't if anybody wants to read it, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to. But there is a reason why she has a sword. There is a reason. That's a major plot point.
Like,
why she has.
You're a Kryptonian. Why are you holding a sword?
There's a reason. I don't want to spoil it for the people watching, though.
That's like Spider-Man driving a car.
Yeah, the spider buggy.
Like that's literally just made to sell toys. Because Spider-Man driving a car, even though his spider sense would go AWOL if he was driving a vehicle.
It would go AWOL in Massachusetts because nobody fucking can drive where you are.
You know what? Like I've always wondered, like, what would happen if Spider-Man were to get drunk? That his spider sense would be going crazy.
He can't get drunk because he has like super, resistance, that kind of thing. I don't think he can get drunk.
Oh well, I was thinking like if he I wonder what would happen if he could get drunk. Like if he could get drunk, because basically his spider sense is like ADHD. Like he can't really stay still because his spider sense is like always like active at all times. I mean, him driving a car makes so much sense why he can't drive a car, because he would constantly be like his spider sense would constantly be going off,
especially if he was driving in Massachusetts, Florida, Virginia, and Maryland,
New York. But even though people
New York has better drivers. New Jersey has a lot of shit drivers too.
So like bro would just like actually like go crazy. That's why if I were Spider-Man, I don't want to be Spider-Man because I can't. I think my spider sense would genuinely like eat me alive, because it's supposed to be basically, it's supposed to be akin to ADHD and anxiety, because it's always like it's always like going off. But damn, it's almost 2 hours. But basically, I'm excited for the movie. John's excited for the movie. Devin, unfortunately, he
I'm
wasn't.
stoked.
Devin wasn't here to be with us in person, but he shared his thoughts. He's excited for the movie. And again, all you Snyder cultists and Henry Cavill, sympathizers. Again, I love Henry Cavill. Okay, but seriously, you guys need
to shut the fuck up.
Seriously.
Yeah, and it's so funny seeing them like you guys can't get over Christopher Reeve. You guys can't get over Henry Cavill.
Like, I still can't believe people were complaining because of the teaser, like the teaser for the teaser, and his hair was blowing through the wind while I can't believe, really, seriously. And then people try, and then like on Twitter, like I don't know if you see, I don't know how much you're on Twitter, but I saw like how the teaser was just like people looking up and everything. Well, someone on Twitter tried to make the same thing with like Man of Steel and have like a bunch of people just looking up, and then it's Superman flying, and it's like Zack Snyder really had the sauce, man. Zack Snyder had the sauce. You can kill the man, but you can't kill the idea. Like, really, let it go, man. I can't with you guys. Oh gosh,
Yeah,
I can't. I don't understand. I really don't get it.
I don't. It's like because these people aren't DC fans; they're Zack Snyder fans, and it's just like the worship with this guy is just intolerable. It's just so weird because it's like I knew this was gonna happen when WB gave them the Snyder Cut. Like we knew this was gonna happen. They were never gonna shut up about it. So, it's just like when you have people that like on Twitter that are replying to James Gunn, who made a very serious post about his friend dying of alcoholism, and a Snyder cultist was like, well, yeah, you deserve it because you fucked over Zack Snyder. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
dude, listen, wait, you said, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting, like, why am I forgetting his name? So Joss Whedon tweeted about that?
No, James Gunn just had a regular tweet. It was like he was just talking about how his friend like died of alcoholism, and he's like, oh, it's a tough thing. If you need help, make sure to get help. Just a very serious post. And then somebody replied, well, you deserve it for fucking over Zack Snyder.
Even though he had nothing to do with that, he was already making the movie. And Warner Brothers, if you want to be mad at somebody, blame Warner Brothers for bringing him on if they were never going to actually do anything with it. And if anything, blame The Rock for doing that. He's the one who forced it.
Yeah.
Blame him. Why are you blaming James Gunn? It's the same thing with Matt Reeves. Now, granted, I was mad that Matt Reeves. I was disappointed because I very much was looking forward to the Batman movie that Ben Affleck was talking about, because apparently people were saying that script was like the best Batman script they ever read, and I'm sure it was because the man is a screenwriter. He has his experience. Hello, Good Will Hunting, but Matt Reeves was already doing his own thing before that even happened. So it's like, and he didn't want to work with, at least. So again, where was this energy with Ben Affleck? Because if anything, y'all should have been mad at Matt Reeves, because he didn't want to do the movie with Ben Affleck. He wanted to do his own Batman movie.
Yeah,
it's just because it's James Gunn and the whole. I feel like
he's from Marvel. He was from Marvel. He did the Guardians movie, so he's the enemy.
I don't think it's because of that. I think it's literally just because of the controversy with James Gunn. I think that's the only reason. That has to be the only reason. There's no realistic reason for people to really doubt James Gunn and his ability to make a good movie. He's made 4 good movies, 5 of them. I've never seen Super, and I want to watch that, but he's never made a. Okay, never mind. That's not true. He's made, as far as superhero movies, he's literally 5 out of 5. 4 out of 4. 4 out of 4. Hopefully 5 out of 5 with this one. Like, he's literally a perfect 4 for 4. He has not missed a beat I know people don't like Guardians 2, and I know people don't like, Suicide Squad, but the general mass of people love all.
Well, Guardians 2 is my favorite MCU movie, so
like
Guardians 1 is great. Guardians 3 had way too many problems, but still a decent movie. Like both that and the Suicide Squad were very flawed, but still very good movies. So there's that as well.
Guardians 3 is my favorite. That was the most emotional one. Like that one, it killed me. That movie
problems for me. And it was executed kind of poorly.
Like Guardians 3 made me want to cry. Like when Quill finally made it back to Earth. After all, and I'm so mad that that Endgame ruined it for me. Endgame ruined it. They ruined it. If they could have just had them fight on a different place, not Earth, because that would have been if Quill, if that was the first time Quill made it back to Earth after years and years and years of avoiding it, that would have been so perfect. That would have been actually moving. Now, it still was moving, but it's hard for me to forget the fact that, Quill made it back to Earth already, and he literally had no reaction other than just nothing. He didn't even do anything about it. But, yeah, like, it's just, man. Like, we're really complaining about the laws of physics, and now all of a sudden people want to become, like, experts on color grading when it comes to superhero movies.
Yeah.
Like, okay, buddy. Okay,
yeah, but overall, I thought it was a great trailer. I would say I'm probably gonna watch it like 10 more times today.
Yeah, I already watched it like 5 times.
I love seeing Superman as the beacon of hope. I love seeing him with Lois. Lex Luthor looks good. I like seeing Krypto. I like seeing the other heroes, but I feel like they'll actually serve a narrative purpose. And I know people are like, oh, you're putting too many heroes in there. Like, as long as it serves a narrative purpose, I'm okay with that. Because this is the start of a universe. And he said we're starting in the middle of the action. We're starting with a ton of established heroes. So it's like, okay, cool. We're doing that. And we're, establishing all this, everything here. So, they're doing all that. So I'm cool with that. I like how, Superman started off with, kind of broken, bloodied, and then now we're going to be, getting something. It's just, I like the vibe. I like, people seem to be happy with this. Yeah, you have a bunch of people that are like, oh, I can't fucking Henry Cavill, though. It's like, all right, then fucking wallow. Go watch your fucking overly long, pretentious crap fest of a fucking Justice League movie and leave us alone.
Hey. I love that movie.
Yeah, it was the best one out of the 3, but that's not saying much.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This picture of Lex Luthor is killing me.
I can't see it.
It's like why is he why is he crying? This picture is actually
he's probably so fucking pissed that he's just like, I can't.
No, I'm sure Nicholas Hoult is gonna do great, but I don't know why this picture is making me laugh. I think it's just because you said that he looks like Hitman. That now I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it that he just looks like Hitman or Johnny Sins. Oh, look, it's Johnny Sins. I do respect the fact that he shaved his head for this. Like, respect.
Yeah. And so good for him. And based. He pretty much, although
the people of Metropolis are all morons.
Is it me who's wrong? No, it's the people that are wrong. But that's about it for our trailer discussion. Yeah. We kind of went into a million different directions, but it's a great trailer. We're excited. It looks great. Yeah, you have a lot of haters, but they don't know anything. They're stupid. So, it's fine.
They are stupid.
And I would just like to differentiate. Snyder cultists are assholes. Snyder fans.
Yeah.
Snyder fans are cool.
Yeah,
okay, I like those movies, but I'm willing to see something.
Yeah, seriously. If you are a Snyder fan and you are willing to move on, we're not talking about you. We're talking about the people who deliberately are doing nothing but just spreading just malice and hate just because it's not Henry Cavill. You're actively And I swear to God, if this movie does not do well financially because of this, I will genuinely I will lose my mind.
I don't think it'll. I don't think it would be anything in regards.
I know it's
to
not
that.
going to, but if it does, like, I will lose it. I'm gonna lose it if it happens.
Yeah,
because I don't want it to happen. I want this movie to do well financially. This is my most anticipated movie of 2025 so far. Like,
right.
I want this movie to do good so badly. So
Yeah, but-
please do well. Just please do well. That's all I ask. But anyways, we have been talking our butts off for basically 2 hours. So let's, again, I am the world's biggest geek here with the Geek Informant. Thank you for watching and good day. And remember, I don't actually have anything to say. I'm just trying.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
American way. Broad line into the world. You're welcome, America.
Welcome, DC Comics.